Going live in high def. What's up, everybody? I'm John Clinebell. I'm an indie producer, songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm one of the co-founders of 2Indie. Happy to be here on a Thursday night towards the end of October, here for the listening session. It's the Showy Show. We're going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about licensing. We're going to be listening to songs. And we're going to be chatting about industry news and may even have a guest on with me this week. Looking forward to diving in. My cat Piper, she's right here in the corner. You can say hi to her if you like. The chat is live. Feel free to drop any questions you have in here at any time. If you want full information about what we do at 2Indie, you can always go to our website at 2indie.com. I'm going to go ahead and drop in the link in case anybody wants feedback on their music. We do have quite a few songs in the queue, but there might be time to sneak one in, and we always give priority to the people who are live on the call for song feedback. So, yeah, how's everybody doing? I'm a little bit overwhelmed. It has been a very busy week, a really great week. Sonnet and I, we've been doing this One Sheet Wonders challenge all week. Excuse me. It has been so fun. We've been diving into artist branding, helping people to find their why, and then put that into words, put it into a visual presentation. It's just amazing. We had like 50 or 60 one sheets from the people in the group. A lot of people making a lot of headway with their branding. So fun. It's not too late to jump in on that either. You can go to onesheetwonders.com, fully spelling out onesheetwonders.com. Anyways, I'm here and I am ready to roll. So I have a bunch of songs queued up. Just going to start diving into the feedback. As always, feel free to drop comments in, encourage it. Love getting a chat going on here. Get a little back and forth. Still figuring out the format of this thing, but I think the Showy Show will continue to evolve. And, you know, for right now, we're going to do some listening, though, because there's a lot of songs in the queue. I want to give some feedback now. The feedback I'm going to give is going to be from the perspective of licensing. So for film, television, ads, how does this music work in that context? Oftentimes, there's a lot of tweaks that could be suggested. I'm here to offer my humble 2 cents. I've had hundreds of placements of my music with major brands, ads, TV shows. It's a pretty long list. But, you know, my opinion is just one opinion in the sea of many. But I do teach about this. I've been teaching about licensing since 2018, and it's been great. I've been having a good time. We're having a good time doing it at 2Indie as well. Just on these calls, we do it in our licensing base camp as well in these public calls. So without further ado, let's just dive in. I want to start listening to some songs today. Last week, we got a little bit of a late start with listening to songs. If anybody's here and they have a song in the queue, please say hi and let me know you're here. Otherwise, I'm just going to start jumping in here. So we've got Sean Luke. It's Over Now. Let's give this song a spin. Queuing that up right now. And if you could also please out there, please let me know if you can hear the music. It's always really helpful. Always really help. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a long week in a good way. It's just, it's a lot of good. You know, and here we are on a Thursday. This is post caffeine too. Like I've had a couple of cups of coffee today. So, but I am ready to power through here. Let's see. Lionheads Project. Hi, how you doing? I can't remember your name. Can you tell me what your name was again? I remember you from last week. Welcome from YouTube. We're broadcasting live to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. And we have handles for all of them. So welcome to the stream. Welcome, chat. All right, without further ado, let's get this song spun. We're going to listen to this song by, again, the artist is Sean Luke. Looks like the artist here on the track is Studio Monks, but it was submitted by Sean Luke. The song's called It's Over Now. Here we go. I'm still learning the process of terms of like setting this all up, so it might take me a second, but I think we got it here. Let's check this out. All right, here we go. Yeah, Sean, I think this is cool. Are you on the call here? If you're live in the stream, say hi. We got some people chiming in here. Paul DeWitt from Georgia, welcome to the stream. Morton from Norway. Yes, I remember you now from last week. Cool. Sounds good on YouTube. So you're getting the sound loud and clear. That's what's important. And then Trace Ellis, I put a song in for review. It's just a demo, not a producer. So looking for feedback on how the song might work for sync if fully produced. Happy to give my 2 cents. I will definitely give that a listen next. So thank you for the reminder. Let's see. So, but I do want to dive into this song that we just took a listen to. So my quick thoughts on this are that I think this song needs a top line. I feel like it's begging for a top line. I think you've got a nice series of levels here that's happening. I think the sound is coming through your mic also. It's possible. My whole setup is a little funky. Hopefully it's not affecting your audio quality too much. It's quite possible that there's some bleed happening because this mic is pretty hot. But yeah, my sound setup is not ideal at the moment, but hopefully the music is still coming across loud and clear for everybody as much as possible. Okay, great. Good to know, Morton. So I will also give your song a spin too. So you two are the next in the queue as far as I'm concerned. But let's get back to this song. So I feel like this song is begging for a top line. And I think that because I was like, oh, this intro is taking a really long time, but then I realized, oh wait, there's no lyrics to this. So if there was a top line on the top of this, I don't necessarily think it would be as take as long to get to the place where it kind of starts to pick up. And when it does pick up, it's got these really nice levels. So as it goes along, you can see, and this is what music supervisors love to see this. They love to see how there's different levels to the waveform. So they can see, oh, because there's scene changes. A lot of times in picture, you really want to be supporting the picture. And what you'll see on the screen is a change, like a massive change happening. And a lot of times that change, either if it's in the story, on the screen, both, a lot of times it's a combination of both. Then you want to have like some type of a big swing in the dynamics to really help emphasize that. So I love what's happening here with the dynamics. I feel like the production sounds modern. I love it. I think it's cool. The one thing I was going to say is I think you got to find something, either some real strings or maybe a better library to swap out those like string pads or those string sounds with, because they really are kind of sticking out for me production wise. That's really the only thing that I was getting tripped up on. But I think as a work in progress, it sounds great. I love everything else about it. I think the mix sounds good. I think it sounds professional. It's a cool track. I think you get a good vocalist over the top of this who can write a good song to it. And then you're going to have something that not only hits it out of the park in terms of the instrumental, but a lot of times the vocal will sell the instrumental to whoever wants to use an instrumental. So just a heads up there too. But great work. Love the track. Thanks for sharing it. And it's a great way for us to kick off our stream here. So congratulations there on that song. Thanks for submitting it. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sean, for submitting that. All right, let's jump in. We got Trace Ellis here next, Barren Skies. I'm going to give this a listen. Very much a work in progress. Okay, thanks for the heads up there. Let me see what I can do. You know what I might be able to do too is I might be able to try muting the microphone. It's just an extra step that I have to do, but it might help with the whole, what do you call it? If the microphone is picking up the audio. But you just let me know if y'all can hear this, and then and we'll take it from there. But I'm going to give this a listen now. Trace, you're up. Let's give this a spin. Not the full screen. There we go. We'll share this. Okay. Let me know if you can hear the music. Can you hear me now? No sound. Okay. Yeah. I'm just still learning the process here, so I guess I accidentally muted my microphone. All right. I thought I had unmuted it, but I hadn't unmuted it all the way. There were actually 2 steps. It's a little complicated with my setup, but welcome back, everybody. This is cool. Like I was saying before, I just lost sound. Okay. Well, the thing is there's a 15-second delay, so I'm just going to keep going here until I get confirmation from one more person that the sound is working or it's not. But yeah, I can hear you. Okay, great. So this track, it reminds me of the Eagles. It reminds me of that song, Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And yeah, the melody feels like it's a little more like long-winded, I guess is the thing. I like the vibe of the track. I think like obviously it's in a super rough state in terms of the demo. You wouldn't submit this to a music supervisor. It just doesn't sound radio ready. But you said that, up front, which is good to get feedback on your song sometimes when it's, not in a finished state. This is at a pretty good place in terms of a super rough demo. I would say just in terms of the top line for me, I felt like it was doing a little bit of holding out the notes a little too long. And I think with because there's such a sustainy aspect to the instrumental with the guitars and not a lot of dynamic changes or anything like that, I think that's where the opportunity maybe is there for with the top line, with the lyrics and the melody, the vocal melody, to kind of spice things up a little bit. So maybe looking for ways in which you can spice that up, maybe even work in and cook in some transitions. Obviously, if you can find a way to give this some dynamics and have it feel a little less like, if you look at the shape of the waveform, it just kind of looks like it's almost like a brick. It's almost like no change at all. So it'd be great to see some variation there. But so it's really hard. It was also very hard for me to make out what the song was about, but the feeling was cool. Kind of reminded me again of that Peaceful, Easy Feeling song by the Eagles. Again, I don't know if that's the title of that song, but it totally reminded me of that. But great work. Yeah. I'm glad you could hear me fine. Good. Cinder can hear me. If Cinder can hear me, that's the most important thing. Hi, Cinder. Actually, we're going to be bringing Cinder up as a guest here in a little bit, but maybe in a half hour if you're up for it, Cinder. Let's see what is going on. What's next? How's everybody doing? Let's keep going. I want to listen to a lot more songs than we did last time because we didn't get through a ton of music last week. Piper's here. She's doing grooming, but she's also checking out the music and she really appreciates it. So she's keeping the vibes high here. All right. So who's up next? We've got Nancy Bolin or Nancy Ann Gonseth. I apologize. Wrong Nancy. Nancy Ann Gonseth. We've got Turn Up, Turn On. Let's give it a listen. Thank you for submitting that track. Again, there's the link to if you would like to submit a song. It's right below my smiling face. Okay, let's give this a listen. I think I'm getting the process down in terms of switching over to the music and back, but just give me a second while I do this. Let's give this a spin.
I want you so much, feel that first touch. Keeps me coming back for sure. Can't hide the feeling, senses reeling. I want you more and more and more. Turn out and turn on. When we're together, we got it going on. Switch on and switch up. Stay on repeat, never turn off. Turn out and turn on. Better enjoy it before it's gone. Switch on and switch up. I love the beat, don't want it to stop. Stop and switch
Hey, that was cool. Yeah. So, here's my thoughts on this one. So I like a little like secret agent kind of vibe with the music. I feel the lyrics are a little, in terms of the chorus, it's a hard concept to understand. Just in my opinion, it's super wordy. The chorus is very wordy. And so I feel like it might be better to have it be turn up and turn on. Turn on and turn up. It's like make it simpler. Don't necessarily need extra vocals in between the taglines, I guess. The turn up and turn on. Also, it switches up. It's turn up and turn on, switch on and switch up. But it also sounds like switch off, like the way that the lyric is. That's the reason why I rewound it, was that I was a little confused. I thought that the lyric sounded like switch off and switch up. So some stuff with the enunciation. I think it also could have to do with like just the concept is like very complicated. And so when I was listening to it, I was confused. So confusion, especially with something like this, feels like it wants to be in an ad, right? It feels like it wants to be an ad, but most ad music, the concept is really simple. Like it's just one concept. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. Also, the words, like negative words, are not great for ads. Just the word never and don't. For whatever reason, I've heard this several times. You just don't want to include negative words necessarily. Now, there's not going to be any hard rules with any of this. There's no hard rules with licensing. There's no hard rules with songwriting, but we can kind of see what is landing and what's not landing. And also, I just know from the experience that I've had of pitching my own music and pitching the music of others, the feedback that I've gotten on different things and specific words can be very important. So yeah, that's my thought in terms of the chorus. And then I thought that the arrangement, it kind of did a false start in a way with the chorus. So I feel like the chorus was kind of delayed a little bit too much. Like it kind of gets going. And then it says like psych. It kind of comes back, it kind of pulls back and it kind of restarts. It felt like it really kind of stopped the momentum there a little bit prematurely. So I feel like an arrangement decision there, it could have been cooler to just go jump straight into the chorus from there and then use that whatever happened when they did the reset to maybe have that be your verse 2 or something like that. Let's see how long the song is. It's 2:41, so it's not super long, but I mean, you could definitely shorten this arrangement and it wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be like people would be like, oh, a 2-minute song. I don't know about that. Honestly, like there's a lot of songs that are a minute and a half to 2 minutes long nowadays. So, but that's my thoughts, Nancy. And I really like this. I think it's cool. Again, it kind of reminds me of like a little secret agent kind of vibe with it, like the soulful vocal over the top and the attitude of the vocal. But I just think that the chorus is maybe a little too complex, and with the arrangement, and I would kind of look to see how you might be able to shorten that arrangement so that you can keep the momentum going into the chorus, because you really want people to hit your chorus. And if people kind of feel like they were kind of psyched out of it, then they might be like, wait, was that the chorus? It's a little confusing. Take that for what it's worth. But thanks again. Thanks for submitting the track. Cool track. Glad to have you here, and glad to have everybody here. This is our Thursday night jam. It's the Showy Show. And I'm here. I'm your host, John Clinebell, the co-founder of 2Indie. And we do this every Thursday night. Still figuring out the format of the show, but like to start things off with some song feedback. Like I said, a little later, we're going to be bringing on a special guest, if they're up for it. And then also probably break into some industry news, because my inbox is just constantly flooded with cool stuff that I wish I had the time to really just kind of dig in on my own. But I thought it might be cool for us to just kind of break into some of that stuff together and break it down. Okay, so, but let's play some more music here. Who's up next? All right, so we've got Morten Yo Matheson. Morten from Norway. Got international friends here. Work in progress, example of how to build on to become sync ready. Okay, cool. So work in progress, good to know. Don't Cry Baby is the name of the song. Let's give it a spin. Hey, Mary, by the way, I pulled up your quote, Pipey. Yeah, she's I don't call her Pipey. I so rarely even call her Piper, but I like it that you've given her a new nickname. Maybe I should start calling her that. And we've got people in the chat asking each other how they're doing. Cinder wants to know how you're doing, Mary. From one good person to another. All right, so this song's called Don't Cry Baby. Let's give this a spin, and I'm going to get faster and faster at kind of switching the screens. It's a 4 or 5 click journey here to get it all queued up and make sure that my microphone isn't turned on, but hopefully I can get faster at it.
Don't cry, baby, baby, don't cry. I don't care no more, we've been living a lie. Hey, you're talking, watching your eyes, see the tears, you discover the lies. Give me a moment, let me explain. I don't wanna lose, it's a part of the game. Don't cry, baby, baby, don't cry. I don't care no more, we've been living a lie. Don't cry, baby, do you see? Don't cry, baby.
Yeah, it always takes a second to get it queued back over there. Mary's heading to Nashville. We're going to try to connect while she's in town. Yeah. So, and thank you, Nancy Ann, for submitting that track. Appreciate that. So yeah, Morton, let's talk about your song. So I feel like this song you've got a really kind of mellow voice. It feels like almost like a lullaby. If the lyric didn't kind of hint at some kind of romantic situation, some kind of difficult romantic situation, otherwise I would think that this was like a song that you would sing to somebody when they're trying to fall asleep, like in a good way, like a positive kind of reassuring vibe. I think it's it's a tender song. I'm getting like the vibes of this is like tender, emotional, but not like overly. I think with the tone of the voice, it's kind of nice with that. I think obviously the production this is a super rough demo, so I'm not going to give you feedback on like your production elements and stuff like that. But, in terms of the voice, I think it's cool. I also feel that like, with this, it's interesting with like the top line. It's like a level, kind of smooth, kind of flowing, a little bit of a sustainy, busy top line. And I wonder if there might be a section where you're kind of like something that just kind of varies it up a little more rhythmically might be interesting in terms of the writing, because after a while my ears kind of fatigued a little bit with what was happening. It's not that I was bored, it was that I just kind of it just kind of felt a little bit too samey. And that's where you got to be creative about your dynamics. So, I think with a song like this, especially with a song with so few elements too, you just got to keep in mind when you put the production together that all of the attention is going to be on so few things. So you got to make sure that the quality with everything is just like super high. Keep the bar super high with that. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on it. Do I think that there's a situation where this song could work for a TV show or something? Sure. It really just depends on the context though. Again, it's like, it's an interesting song because I feel like, with that, I didn't really make out all of the lyrics, but it kind of feels like to me, it's not about like soothing somebody who's like a child who's upset. It's more like soothing somebody in a relationship kind of context who's upset, which, that's a more of a specific situation. And it kind of does run a little bit counter to what feels like almost like a kid's lullaby. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on this. I think it's cool. It's a cool start to something. I would really figure out like what your references are, your modern references are. And I would look at like singer-songwriters, very sparse singer-songwriters with piano, see what they're doing. I think it'll help you find some sounds that like those choir kind of sounds definitely felt canned. So you wouldn't want to run with those in your actual production. But nice job so far. Appreciate it. It's great. It takes a lot of courage to throw your stuff in and have people online give you feedback on your music, right? All right. Who's up next? All right. I am going to adjust my seat. The thing that's nice about this setup is I've got I have to have a standing desk. If I don't have a standing desk, then I don't stand a chance. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's getting close to the end of the week. Do you think it needs drums or instruments? Not necessarily, My answer would be no. I don't feel like it's that kind of song, really. It could use a bass. I don't know. I feel like this could use maybe a cello or something, like a real cello halfway through. If you got a really good piano sound and maybe some kind of like, maybe some synth kind of thing that's like really cool and kind of off in the distance, or some type of a pad. I don't know. I think it's really the thing that's going to be important on this is getting the right vocal tone and getting the songwriting right on it, and then just picking the right piano sound. Just make sure you get a really good sounding piano for it. That's my thoughts. Yeah, happy to give my feedback. You're so welcome, Morton. Happy to have an international audience on this thing already. So this is like maybe like been about a month into doing this show. Having some fun with it. This was great, though. Thanks for submitting that track. Who's up next? We've got Faketa is up next. This song is called Form of Expression. It says that it's mixed. Let me give you some feedback on this track. Is my chat still working? Yeah, your chat's definitely working, Paul. Oh, and I see your song in there, too. We'll spin you next. But let's spin Faye's track here first. Just giving some feedback for anybody who's tuning in. I'd like to give some feedback on songs as it pertains to ads, TV, film. It's one of the things I have some expertise in. Love to do it. It's so fun to do. I've heard so many songs and given feedback on songs and then heard those songs go on to be on TV shows. It's always just really fun to see. I was like, oh, I remember I gave some feedback on that track. I don't know if I had anything to do with that, honestly. Like sometimes people come to you with a track that's pretty much all cooked and good to go. But I can't claim to take any credit for that. But I've definitely seen a lot of songs that I have given feedback on get used for stuff. So it's fun. You never know. I might be listening to some songs tonight that are going to be on TV shows, in 2023. Might be a little late to get them in this year, but you never know. Let's see who's up next. This is Faye. Let me cue up your song. Sorry, I'm still not used to all the buttons on this. This is so different than Zoom, but I'm starting to get the hang of it. Let's see. We got that. I got the window open. Now let me just mute my mic and we'll give it a spin here.
I ain't getting money. Focus on the wrong thing. Seeing big change, cause I'm all about the better things. Possessions, hate to break your heart, cause this world ain't. Obsessions, never a bad thing. Ain't no sense complaining, ain't no point in that. Got the world on my back, 700 on the right track. Success in my lap, the goals of the lack. Military bow down, show more around. Kerosene style, your name's on it, yes I shall. Keep a low profile, even though age out. Time to whip them things out, let the phone go round. 360 in a pound, how that sounds. Sit around, play the background. What's the circle about? Rotation, watch the money pal. I gotta make this count. Shit, put myself in the bank, whole value now. You, I'm powerful, for certain. Street cred with no verses. East Savage and immersion, wonder where your girl been. Working, different clothes, same person. Guest appearances, remix new versions. The just let me watch my mouth.
Yeah, Faye, that was cool. Yeah, I like the flow here. I feel like it's good. I was waiting for that 808 to kick in, and then all of a sudden it did. And I was like, okay, now it's on. Like, one of the things I did think, I was like, well, where's the bass? And if I'm thinking that, then maybe you're holding out with it a little bit too long, because I was definitely waiting for that. I was also feeling like the drums weren't really popping the way they should compared to the vocal. I feel like mix wise, the vocal was really sticking out in front. And then when the bass kicked in, it felt like the bass kind of took over everything. So I think it's like a little bit of finessing with the mix on this is going to go a long way. I feel like this is cool. One thing I would say too is like trying to work in a hook that's kind of repetitive and that people can expect to come back. I think I listened to about a minute worth of the track before skipping a little bit ahead, and I didn't really hear a hook that I could remember. So it might be nice in terms of the songwriting here to bring in something that has a little bit of repetition with it. What's up, Harmony? We've got all the friends are here. We've got Harmony. We've got Mary. Mary's okay. And welcome, Harmony. And thank you, Faye, for submitting this track. I feel that there's a lot of talent here. I really like what you're doing with your top line and your flow. And I like the attitude of the vocal. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze here and I have to Woo! You know, some people when they sneeze, it's like almost like they're apologizing. Like, where'd you? Like I'm just like a fucking dragon. I'm like a dragon when I sneeze. And I always sneeze twice. I don't know what that is. Like it's the weirdest thing, but it's like almost without fail. I don't know if it's almost like it can get with a thing where it's like when you get like the hiccups and you do that one thing that you do to get rid of them that probably has no basis in medicine whatsoever. For me, it's drinking water upside down. Like anytime I get the hiccups and it bothers me, I drink water upside down and it like gets rid of it. And I think it's like a mental thing or something, but I don't know why. Maybe that's why I always sneeze twice. Because I'm always expecting to sneeze twice. Anyways, this isn't a medical stream, but Faye, I like the track. I do think that there's always a need for clean hip hop. I did notice some profanity in there, so you'd probably want to have a clean version always with this stuff. But it's also, look into themes that fit around the attitude that you're having with this, because I feel like there are themes where it's like it could really work in terms of, could really help your work in terms of film, like locking it to picture. There's a list. We have a list in our licensing base camp of 25 different themes that are most asked for. And for anybody who's curious about what licensing base camp is, it's our little accountability community. We have a licensing agency that comes in every month and gives an opportunity for everybody to submit to. And we give the best songs that are submitted that month to that agency and everybody else that we know. We know a ton of agencies for licensing and sync rep. But it's a great place to learn, great place to have some accountability around what you do. But we also have a bunch of resources that are exclusive to Licensing Basecamp that includes like a very comprehensive sync glossary and a themes list. So, but you don't need to work with us to get a themes list. You can just type in sync themes list online and you'll probably get a bunch of ideas. So that's just a thought too, is like, as you're continuing to shape everything that you're doing, to just like continue doing the work around, am I kind of checking this box off in terms of what theme does this song seem to fit under? And if you're having a hard time doing that instantly, then imagine what it's going to be like for a music supervisor or somebody in an ad agency. It's just, you want to make their job as easy as possible while still maintaining your artistic integrity. You can do both at the same time. Believe me, I've been doing it for years now. All right. Like that. That was great. Thanks for submitting that track. I think we're getting to the point where I'll probably start to cut off. I mean, anybody's welcome to submit a track. Like I'm going to take the ticker down just because I don't want people, because we're probably winding down the listening portion of this stream pretty soon. But if you do submit a track, so just, Sonnet Simmons, my business partner, co-founder of 2 Indie, she does a listening session. It's strictly a listening session on Tuesdays, and that's on Zoom. But if you want all the information, we email the information for the Zoom session, as well as just the list rolls over from week to week. So we never delete stuff out of the queue. So if your song doesn't get spun today, there's a good chance it'll get spun at the next listening session. Or if you're just like, hey, I haven't had my song listened to in a couple weeks, just bring it to my attention. And I always do the best I can to oblige people. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I just joined. Awesome, Faye. Great. That's awesome. Yeah, Basecamp's cool. The thing cool with Basecamp too is we give 30 days of it for free. So you don't even have to pay anything for it. Try it out. See if you like it. We have such a fun community. Some of the most amazing people from our community are actually live here on this call. We have Harmony. We have Cinder. We have Mary. Some great people on this call. And other folks that I did not mention, but still appreciate as much. Because I don't even know everybody who's on the call right now. But anyways, let's listen to a couple more songs. And then I think, Cinder, if you're down to hop on with me for a little bit, we can chat about just all the things that are happening with you, all the good things and all the challenging things too, if you like. Tom is here. Yep. Tom. Hello, Tom. Welcome, Tom. Oh, Tom's here. And Tom, did you submit a song? I don't see one in here with your name on it. So just let me know. But otherwise, I'll spin 2 more tracks here. And Paul, you're next. Still mixing for John's Thursday. Not sure what that means, but for John's Thursday, like my call. Okay, cool. I like that. We haven't had anybody request a specific person, give them feedback on stuff. So bring it, bring it on. Still mixing. So is this a track that I heard before? Just curious. I'm down if I can get the link to work. Okay, cool. Did you get the link? I know I texted it to you, but if you like, I can email it to you as well. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Just in case you need it. Just do this real quick. Thanks everybody for your patience. Appreciate you. There we go. Just sending that link off to Cinder. Okay, so is there anything you'd like to say to set this up in terms of, did I listen to this before? The title looks familiar to me. So just let me know if I heard it before. But oh, nice, Tom. No songs tonight, just enjoying the community. Enjoy you too. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Okay, so Modern Age Man, let's give this a listen. It's a YouTube video. Here we go. Sharing the old screen, and let's see if we can speed up this. I'm gonna see if I can get this thing going fast. Oh, it's like a lot of windows though. I'm definitely gonna be looking to speed this up in the future. Here we go. Thanks, Paul. Like the CD head there. I haven't actually held a CD in so long. I remember when I used to burn CDs all the time. Remember CDs, everybody? Remember CDs. It's so funny. So yeah, getting into the song, talking about like stuff that has like kind of a retro vibe, this song definitely has a retro spin. Feels like this song is perhaps even from an era before CDs even existed. It feels like this is almost coming from the late 70s or something like that. Is kind of like maybe where it lies, late 70s, early 80s in terms of some of the distortions that are used. Just that's where like my aesthetic kind of taste and just my radar when it comes to just guitar tones. That's kind of where that lands. I'm not a professional electric guitar player, so my radar with that might be a little bit off. But this doesn't sound like a particularly modern track, so it's interesting. I feel like a track like this, it would probably need to be a thing where this would need to be. I feel like this track would need to. They'd need to be looking for period music. And then this track would need to be produced in such a way that it really sounds like it was from that era. So right now there's some vibes from that era, but it doesn't feel like the bongos and things like that. I don't know if that was a loop, but it feels like that felt like very pristine and like recorded recently. So it's a mix of stuff that it's a super raw, perhaps production at this point. Some of the vocals were a little out in terms of the timing and everything. But I feel like if you want to do this, it's fine to do something that sounds like it was from like a different era. But when you do it, you have to remember you are always in competition with the history of recorded music. And if that's the case, then your competition is going to be the songs from that era that were like really, really good with like huge budgets, where people like in the process back then was a lot different. Like people were actually, it was a big commitment going into the studio. So a lot of times they would spend like meticulous hours getting the guitar sound just right, getting the timing down and all that stuff. So, my thoughts on this are, it feels like it's a song from another era. And that's cool, and if you're going to go that way, you got to go all the way with it. And, because your song fairly or unfairly is going to be compared with those songs. I'm troubleshooting. So Cinder's saying I'm troubleshooting. Devices wouldn't connect. Okay. Well, StreamYard works a little bit like Zoom. So once you get it all figured out and jump on, then I'll let you up on stage here. Otherwise, no big deal. We can always push it off until next week too. I see you here, Cinder. Hang on just a sec. Let me close this out first. But thanks. Really appreciate it, Paul. Thanks for the submission. And let's see. Paul's saying, I'm not sure, but I think I'm getting some echo. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I don't think everybody is getting the echo that you're talking about. So, but correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. Is anybody else getting an echo with the audio when I play a song? So let's add Cinder to the stream. How you doing, Cinder?
I'm good, John.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
Yay! A lot of moving parts today, aren't there?
I know, right? I know. Well, welcome to the stream. This is the Showy Show, the Thursday night thing. Hang with John here, 2Indie, on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, going worldwide.
Worldwide. I just want to say, as I pop open another can of bubbly, that I have had some of my best learning come, you guys, when I get songwriting feedback when I'm first starting the song. So, I don't know if that was the intention by some of the rough demos and stuff tonight, but John gives great fucking feedback. And and so, I've learned so much about song shaping is what I call it. And, how the lyric needs to be married to the vibe of the track. And then the thing is, we all want our songs to be listened to, right? So what do you do? Like, it isn't about you, right? Like, okay, you have this idea, but if people tune out before they even get to the chorus, then your song's not listened to. And I mean, whether it's a fan, I've had my best friend sitting next to me in the car, and I've watched her tune out, and she loves me, but I saw her go. And I thought, I wanted to say, damn it, listen. But that's my job. So there's just so much good things about listening to the feedback he's giving. And yeah, you got to have a good song. I mean, it all starts with a good song, and then it starts with then it's a good production.
Yeah,
then,
absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, I took over the show.
You're good. No.
I thought you'd have a chance. Do you need to burp or sneeze again?
I get a chance to get a word in. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you, Cinder. I get to say a couple things in my own show. No, I'm just kidding. It's so great to see you. So tell us all about, now I know a lot of what's been going on lately, but there are some people I'm sure that are tuning in who don't know who you are and don't know your situation. And so maybe if you could take a couple, like 30 seconds to a minute to just introduce yourself, and then maybe list off a couple of the things that have been happening recently that you're really excited about.
Yeah. So I am called Cinder Shine, and that's because I try to bring my best self to everything I do, including music. And 3 years ago, I found out I've got a shitty cancer that is never cured. And I decided I was just going to have fun. I wasn't going to do anything anymore if it wasn't fun. And then I started to follow the trail of songwriting for TV ads and films. And I wasn't a musician. I mean, I've always sang and played guitar. So anyway, I find myself here 3 years later, having really followed the fun all the way. And now I have a solid catalog of, 40 or 50 songs. 40 of them are already repped. I've had placements, and I'm going to have a song on America's Funniest Home Videos and it's a big one. It's a montage song. So it's really exciting on Sunday, November 6th, I think. So I've had a few placements, and each time they happen, it's like the door opens a little more, and then the songs flow through. And
you got a montage.
I know. And then it's so funny because you were saying earlier, maybe one of these songs you'll hear on the TV or something. And you know what? Maybe you will. I have a lot of friends with songs, in a lot of shows. I'm like, oh, there's another one. Oh. So it's really exciting when when you're in. And I just want to also put a plug in right here for, if you don't really know much about sync except you have a desire, go to 2indie.com, because there's a free boot camp that lives there as well. So you don't have to ask a lot of stupid questions. You can watch the boot. I mean, no questions are stupid, but the questions are in there.
Let's be real. Some questions are stupid, but it's okay. It's okay to ask dumb questions. It's all right. It's good.
It is. But if you listen to the boot camp, you'll get the basics, and then you can ask a more elevated question. Anyway, that's just my so yeah, I would do that. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of moving parts, and but it's it's fun. If you look at it as fun, it's fun. And
you follow the fun. I like that. That's good. Follow the fun sounds like a good it sounds like a good ad song to me.
Right?
Hook alert.
But we'd have to say that a little. I could say that, huh? Follow the fun. Hook. We call that a hook alert.
Yeah, that's Cinder. I stole that from Cinder. I don't know if you could see in the chat, but I dropped that in there. I said, follow the fun, hook alert.
Yeah. And it's up for grabs. Whether I use it or you use it, it doesn't matter, because
hey, there we go.
You always write another song, and no two songs, they're not going to end up being the same.
That's true. Like everybody in this chat could write a song about follow the fun, and it wouldn't sound anything like each other.
And then we could all submit them for songwriting feedback next week. Now that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Follow the fun challenge.
So here's the best thing that's happening. Okay. So I don't know exactly. Well, anyway, so I had a little moment of remission this summer, and I was like, woohoo! And then the cancer came back. I was like, ugh, like how quick this happened. And I have tumors in my face. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's a blood cancer metastatic to the bone. So it's supposed to be, breaking my ribs, not implanting in my face. But anyway, and so it's not a great scenario. And I just actually have gotten some news today that makes it a little harder right now. But here was the magical thing that happened. And I wanted to, do you know when sometimes when you feel like something crosses your path? I'm not talking about cancer. I'm talking about something crosses your path and you're like, oh, I want to do that. That's a yes for me, right? And so as I'm going into, I don't know what really, chemo and radiation, and this may be last rites for me. I don't really know. But what I did know is that John and Sonnet had a small group mastermind starting. And I thought, I'm going to do this because I got shit to do in music and it'll be easier and I'll be able to focus on music instead of cancer. So I said yes to this offer. So there's a small group of us and they're my coaches. And we decided I should make an EP. And we decided I should do it quickly because I have tumors in my face. And right now I might have them in the glands I'm making it up because I don't know yet. Okay. But it's weird things are happening. So anyway, John and Sonnet supported me and John made a GoFundMe. And within a week, last week I was in LA. I recorded 5 songs. We got our first mixes today. A Nashville news station contacted John. So there's this GoFundMe and all the people that I've loved in the music world for years and all the people that I loved for 30 years of my other business have blown this fundraiser up. And now my EP is coming out and people are volunteering to make videos and PR. And I mean, this music is coming out and it's all music that I've written in the last few months. And it's amazing. And then because the fundraiser did so well, I thought we could afford to add the 5th song. And I asked John to write it with me. And it was magical. There's nothing better than collaborating. If you don't collaborate yet with your songwriting, try it. And when you have the right collaborator, I came in with an idea and a chord and a hook. And I just feel like John reached into my heart and pulled out this song. And together we made this song. And it's going to be the title song of the record, I'm sure. So
what a beautiful situation to come out of such difficulty. And, the number was like something like $13,000 that got raised in like 4 or 5 days is just the crazy response that happened there. It was something like it's like you can't plan for that, just kind of happened. It all just kind of came together the way that it needed to come together.
And it's continuing to come together, and, sometimes I feel like I feel like the chemo and the tumors are duking it out. And, and I don't know, the tumors may be winning today. And, but they're over there duking it out. And I'm over here making music. I just can't quite explain it to you, but there's so much magic in the world when you cannot be caught in whatever drama you happen to be in, when you're not caught up completely in it. Oh yeah, it's happening to me. Okay. You don't think I'm not crying. Don't think I'm not scared, but I don't tangle in there for long periods of time. I pop over here and make another song.
And that's one of the beautiful things too, is that Sonnet and I have been able to, you're the one who showed it to us, but you were able to just like start showing us how you are such a great writer on the acoustic guitar. Would you like to maybe talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, okay. So we're back to the small group mastermind and it's called Pinnacle. And I did it in the spring. And I know it was through June because I had some very significant, basically you guys, I did the last round of chemo in December when I was almost dead, but I just felt like I had to do it because I had a 14-year-old dog, and I felt like it was my job to live to see him through. And I was able to do that with so much love and dignity when I was in Pinnacle. And I started writing, I wrote a song on my guitar, and John and Sonnet saw the magic in that. And my assignment was to write an inspirational song on the guitar. And I started doing that about a week before my dog left. And oh my God. And I mean, it's the song. Sonnet is singing the big version of it, and I have an acoustic version on these. But it's that. But so they said, write a song on your guitar. That's where your magic is. And it's like, I've always known that. But I got lost in the other world, and I love collaborating. I love songwriting with all, I do hip hop and gospel. It's a gospel hip hop song that's on the TV show on that Sunday. But anyway, so then that song came, and then another song came at the day I was waiting for the vet. And these aren't like Cry Me a River songs, although you'll cry, but your heart just cracks open, right? And you can feel the love. And then there was another one that Camelot helped with. That was his name, Camelot. And then I found out about this cancer, and all of a sudden this song Be Brave came out. Like the songs are just, I'm just open, and the songs are going by, and I gather them in. That's what it feels like. And that I do that best on my guitar. So that's what I've been doing. And there's a basis of that in all the songs. There's guitar in everything.
Well, it's just been beautiful to watch, honestly. And I love how you put, like, I'm just, how did you put that? That I just like guide them in, or I let them.
Yeah, when they're going by, when I'm open and they're going by. I heard Arlo Guthrie, right? And Harmony. So Harmony, I have a song. She doesn't know yet. And Nick, okay? And because I woke up this one morning, and I was on the way to the park, and I'm thinking, I woke up in a song this morning, singing la 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 la, hey la la. Anyway, and I'm like, and I have a partnership with Nick and Harmony, and I'm like, this is our song, guys. Bounce that other rhythm track down. We got this. So it's in Harmony's inbox now. She's gonna do the vocals. But yeah,
awesome.
So when I'm in that, when I'm there, songs are everywhere. I can pluck them out.
And I can't even believe, like, just the way that you're talking about all this, just the way that your face lights up, the way that it's like you can tell it just lights your whole soul up to be able to do these things. And but it's remarkable to me that you're able to do this in face of such, very scary health stuff. Like, I can't even imagine what it's like to be going through what you're going through right now. And if everybody out there could please send Cinder some of your healing energy, please send it to her. Let's send all of our love to Cinder.
I always used to think about, so I am a motorcyclist, and the cancer I have is a bone cancer. And I was supposed to get my hip replaced like 3 weeks ago. And I waited, and I never thought I'd get remission. And I was on the schedule. And then these tumors came back, and I couldn't have my hip done. And I can't ride my motorcycle. And I don't know if I'll ride anymore. And it's not as sad as it sounds. Somehow, I don't know, I make music now. Maybe I don't ride motorcycles anymore. But I always used to, when I was going through something hard, I would always say to people, yeah, just see me at the racetrack on this specific date. That's what I want. That's the prayer, And so right now, the prayer I want is for you guys. Let's see this EP coming out and cracking hearts open. I want everyone to crack their hearts open. And I don't know, maybe it'll lead to a speaking thing. Like, what I love best is offering my open heart to the world. So I would like to do that through my music or through whatever means necessary. And so if you could join me in seeing that dream for me, that would be the prayer that I would want.
Let's all send a wish that into existence. I wish that for you. I really do. It's such a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you for jumping up here with me and sharing some of your story.
I used to be afraid of John, you guys. I used to be afraid of him. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to put my song in. And but you just do it anyway, right? It takes a ton of courage to put your song in for feedback, but do it. And now that I know John better, he's not so scary.
Such an intimidating guy. Oh my God. We had so much fun. We all got to laugh and cry and hug in person in Los Angeles. Was it last week? It's hard to believe it was last week, right? It's like, how did that all happen so fast? It's kind of crazy.
And I mean, it's funny because there was some urgency, right? And we did it. And I don't know what'll happen when radiation starts, but right now, today, I'm so glad we did it so fast. Because if there's tumors in the glands here, then I may not sing. So, I mean, we did it. High five.
High five.
We did it. We made this shit happen.
We sure did.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, Cinder, you're welcome here anytime. So glad to have you here on the stream today. And, you're welcome to come back sometime in the future if you'd like to share some more of your insights.
I hate to talk. I hate to talk.
You do.
Well, wait,
you need your own show. Cinder, you should have a show. You should have a show.
What are you going to talk about? Grand Slam band?
Well, I will touch on that briefly. Actually, I'm going to be segging into talking about industry news. So
okay, so that's your segue. Okay,
good seg for that. Good seg for that.
So, well, kick me off. You going to take me out of here?
I mean, you're welcome to come.
No, that's okay.
All right. Well, cool.
I'm good.
We'll bring you back. Come back next week if you want.
Okay.
Come back. All right.
Okay.
We can hang next week. All right. Bye, Cinder.
You move me out, right?
All right. Yeah, I'll remove you. You're gone. And then there was one. Hey, everybody. Everybody loves you, Cinder. Everybody loves you. Had some really nice comments drop in. Hey, hey, Marcus, I see you there. We're moved on from song feedback for tonight, but Sonnet can give you feedback on Tuesday, or if you tune in next week, just remind me and I will play your song first. So yeah, just a heads up. We moved on from the listening portion of the stream, and I think I'm going to be spending the next 25 minutes or so because I didn't have any time to do this last week, and it just keeps piling up. Actually, I eventually want to do an hour-long segment on this, but I'm trying to build up my stamina to doing this. It's been a pretty long day. Did a long 2-hour coaching call earlier with some awesome indie artists. Cinder was there. And before that, Sonnet and I, my business partner, are running this challenge. It's called One Sheet Wonders, where it's a branding challenge. And today we made a special offer to the people that were participating in the challenge. So I'm just going to really quickly talk about Brand Slam. I don't want to take too long talking about it, but I would be remiss if I didn't share about what we've been doing, because it's one of the biggest pieces of news for us that we've been up to these last couple of weeks. So I'm just going to drop this in real quick. We'll take a look and I'll just talk about this really quickly. So Brand Slam is our response. We created Brand Slam as our response to, as decision makers ourselves, both Sonnet and I worked for a sync agency, and we would field lots of music from indie artists, as well as work with our partners, our music supervisor friends, our ad agency friends, our production friends. And what we found time and time again was that a lot of indie artists were really struggling to put it in say it in a sentence. Tell us straight from your mouth. Tell us exactly what you're about. They're really having a hard time kind of dialing in that and finding a way to talk about it confidently and clearly. And so what we were getting was a lot of mixed messaging from indie artists and songwriters and producers. And our response to that is to create a branding accelerator, and we're calling it Brand Slam. It's going to be really fun. It's actually available right now. And yeah, that's just something. If you are an indie artist, songwriter, or producer, if you're a music maker and you've always struggled to put into words and then put those words into visuals and then put that out into the world and be confident, more confident than ever before when it comes to the way you make music and the way you talk about that when you're doing business, when you're talking to your fans, then this is for you. So I'm just going to drop this into the chat for anybody who's interested in checking it out. We've got a bonus call with KCRW DJ Jason Kramer. He's a legendary DJ. Pretty amazing that we're bringing him in because, as it says here, he's the first to introduce stars like Billie Eilish, 1975, Florence and the Machine, Ed Sheeran, and many more. And that bonus is available. It's going to be a masterclass on branding that's only available to 25 people. And I think we've got about 12 spots left, perhaps 11 spots left for that. So if you want to jump in on that, the time to do that is right now. And our One Sheet Wonders challenge is not over, by the way. We're going into day 5 is tomorrow, and it's not too late to catch up on the homework. We're also going to be giving away a cool couple of things. One of those giveaways, it rhymes with cat. I might be wearing it right on my head here. But to be eligible for that giveaway, to be eligible to win, you need to do all the homework from all 5 days. So if you want to tune in for that, you can go to onesheetwonders.com. I'll drop in that link in as well for anybody who wants to do the catch up on that. And I'm not talking about, oh, wow, look at that. I just pulled open the page. Boom. There's the One Sheet Wonders link if you want to participate in our branding challenge. But now that we've talked about that, it's really exciting. We're so excited about this. It's going to be so fun. And that starts, I think, in a couple of weeks. It starts on the 7th of November. So if you want to be prepared for 2023, while people haven't even started figuring out like what their New Year's resolutions are, this is for you too. Go into 2023 with a running start. That's what we want for you. And that's why we created this. So let's see what's next. Next up, I want to talk about, so this is something that I wanted to do last week, but I didn't really have any time to do. But it's something I want to do on a regular, is because there's a lot of news that's out there, and I have a lot of opinions about some of the news that's happening in the music industry. And I want to share with you some of my thoughts. Obviously, it's just my opinion, but I like talking about this kind of stuff. And it's a little bit out of my selfish desire to actually catch up on this stuff myself. By reading this to you and by giving my commentary, I'll be better informed, you'll be better informed, and we can discuss it together here in the chat. I want to hear what you have to say about these things that I'm going to be pulling up. So this is a combination of events that are happening. It's a combination of different articles that are forwarded to me that I think may or may not be interesting to y'all. Why don't we dive in here with this article? I think this was sent in the BMI newsletter the other day. Let's do a little bit of sharing the screen. I'm going to definitely do something about this this cutting off, how it cuts off the top of the screen, because I don't love that. I think I'm going to have to move that that graphic up at the top because it seems to cut off the top of the content. But hopefully y'all can read this. But this is how to grow your music career while working a day job. Now, it's really like the place where a lot of people find themselves, where they're working whatever their day job is, and then they're working in the evenings or in the mornings to get some music done, or just even if they can find like 15 minutes on the weekend, sometimes that's all you can find. But this looks like this article was written for them, and I was certainly in that camp. You know, I have to put my hand here so y'all can see it on the camera, but I was definitely in this camp at one point in my life. So I'm interested to dive into this. Most indie musicians work a day job, yay capitalism, and it can be frustrating to try to balance your passion with your paycheck. We don't talk about it enough. So here are 4 small but effective steps you can take this week to grow your music career while you work a day job. Okay. Create a plan for your music year or your music career. Time needed 1 hour. I'm not so sure about that. Feels like planning your music career, you might need more than an hour to do that. Setting your direction is the foundation of your music career. Otherwise, you may very well step out into the endless options offered by the music industry and get overwhelmed. Creating a plan is about saying no to most endeavors and saying yes to only a few. I like that. I do believe there's a book out there that's let me see if I can find the I really do want to find this this book to show you, because this book I feel like is the best. Let's see, book about yes or no. Amazon should pop up. I don't think this is the book, but there's probably another book. I can find it, I'm sure. Let's see, yes book. Problem is there's like 30,000 yes books right now, but there's a book out there, and I will maybe I'll be able to remember it before next week, but there's a book out there that basically says things are either a yes or a no, and you should be heeding it when it's a yes or a no. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's maybe. There's a bunch of stuff that's in the gray area. And when you're in that gray area, a lot of times we say yes to the maybes, but if you change that to making all the maybes no's, it totally changes your life. You're no longer doing something that you will eventually resent somebody for. That's maybe one way that it'll present itself. Or you're distracting yourself and committing resources to something that is really not going to give you the result that you really want long term. So I appreciate what they're saying here. Because there's a book that's really good. Shoot, I'm mad that I can't find the. I don't want to like spend 10 minutes looking for the book title, but it is out there. It's a book that I have written down somewhere. I used to own a copy of it, and then I gave it to somebody to read, and I think I forgot to get it back. All right, so let's look at this basic plan to make steps to making a plan for your music career. It looks like there might be a separate article that they wrote around all that. But one, decide what your ideal music career looks like. This little vision work, that's nice. Find income streams based on your ideal career. Set goals that keep you focused on those income streams, and brainstorm several things you can do on any given day that will move you forward. Now, just my 2 cents as somebody who went from working full-time day job to somebody who I make 100% of my income from the music industry. I mean, sometimes there's like a random gig that comes in that I do that has nothing to do with music, but it's pretty rare. Sometimes I'll sell like a sports collectible or something like that. And that has nothing to do with music, but 99.9% of my income comes from the music industry. And I used to be full-time corporate jobs, like strictly, and trying to find the time to do this. So decide what your ideal music career looks like. I actually think that I'm not going to say this is wrong, but I think that it's a little off, because what we think is our ideal can sometimes not be the thing that we're best suited to do. It might not have anything to do with what our actual purpose is. At one point, I thought that I was going to be the next Jason Mraz or John Mayer, and I would be selling out like huge stadiums across the country. And it turned out that my job, what I'm like the best at and what I love to do, is do stuff like this. Teach. I love to talk. I love to make music and then have that music be used. I love to write. I still write. I still sing. I get paid for it, and I get paid well to do it. But I also teach, and I also write content. I write books. It's like, these are the things that I love to do. And when I first moved to Los Angeles, that wasn't what I wanted to do at all. It wasn't my goal. And also, like, I think what I did was I actually kind of cornered myself into a very narrow spectrum of options that I could use to apply the skills and the gifts that I have naturally. So I think deciding what your ideal music career looks like is a hard thing to do, because sometimes we're totally blind to what we're even good at and what we really love to do. So I think that, and then also find income streams based on your ideal career. Here's what I think with this. I think that it's better to do an inventory of your skills and your passions, like the things you enjoy doing and the things that you're really good at. Because in the Venn diagram of that, when those two things collide, there's probably a set of skills and a set of actions that you could apply to the music industry. And there's different jobs that apply to those skills. And it's not just that one thing that maybe you dreamed of when you were a little kid, you know? So finding the income streams, a lot of times those income streams become very obvious once you make a very real, you do some real answering around like what is it that I love to do and what is it that I'm good at. And you find that out over time. These things change all the time too, by the way. You can always learn new skills, and your feelings around like what you'd love to do and what you're passionate about, that can also change totally because we're humans. We have a brain that's adaptable and we can discover new habits and new practices. So the thing that you're the best at, I don't know what I'm the best at. If I'm perfectly honest, if I'm being totally honest, I still don't know what I'm best at in life. I like to have a beginner's mindset around that. I like to think I have some idea of what I'm good at, but I like to also think that it's quite possible that I still haven't even stumbled upon the thing that is like my area of total mastery. So I think that's a better, I'm not trying to tear this person's article apart, but in my experience, this is not how it worked for me. Set goals that keep you focused on those income streams. I think that once you determine things that you can get paid to do, it is important to set goals and prioritize those things. And then I like how on number 4, it says brainstorm several things you can do on any given day that will move you forward. I like to just make a list of 4 things that I do a day for my business, and I prioritize them based on like how much of a direct return financially I will get from them. So I always try to prioritize the things I'm going to get paid the most for first. And then anything that's kind of like spec or something that's like anything that's speculative, right? Anything that I'm not getting a direct return on, something that I'm trying to build up that hasn't like seen any fruition yet, that goes towards the bottom of the list. And I try not to fill my list with those speculative things. If I can take earning actions with all 4 things, I try to do that. The thing is, like, the more you do this, the more you're going to get totally psyched about the things that you get paid for. If you're climbing the ladder you really want to be climbing. And that's a huge thing too. It's like when you find out like, oh, where does my passions and my skills intersect? If you're climbing a ladder from where those two things intersect, then you're not going to be burning out. You're going to be excited about life. And then it's not going to feel like work. Or at least it's not going to feel like work most of the time. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes with what I do with 2 Indie and what I do with my music stuff, it can feel like work sometimes, but I would say like most of the time, my day to day just kind of feels like this is what I was put on earth to do, and I'm happy to do it. So, it's possible to thrive in the music industry and like just feel like it's your purpose versus like this is a real chore. And let's see here. And the beautiful thing about, I'm continuing with the article, and the beautiful thing about having a plan is it can change. You can try things, make mistakes, find what works, and adjust. But having a plan at least gives you direction. It will at least be moving forward. I do agree with this, that, having goals in your life can really help. Obviously, having a destination is helpful. I just think that the way that this author suggests determining that destination that you set for yourself is a little perhaps misguided. It wasn't my experience with that. So, but I do think having a direction with things is helpful. So let's see so step 1 was create a plan for your music career. I'm assuming that he means like if you sneak in an hour and do this like a few times, it probably would take you longer than an hour to figure this all out. But if you dedicate like an hour of your week towards this for a while, it'll probably help you get there. Let's see. Step 2, make a music creation schedule. Time needed 30 minutes. Creating a schedule for your music career is the best way to hold yourself accountable. It's a way to commit to moving forward to what you want. I disagree with this wholeheartedly. I do think that using a calendar is great, but I don't agree that having a calendar actually holds you accountable in any kind of way. You know, I've definitely set a lot of stuff on my calendar that I intended to do and just blew right past it. The thing that holds me accountable is involving other people in what I'm doing. So I have an accountability partner. This is somebody that I have done this with for like since 2015, like early 2015. Every single day, we're texting each other our to-do list for the day. And that way we are staying accountable to each other about this. If you don't have anybody that's relying on you for something, it makes holding yourself accountable so much more difficult. And you know, maybe some people can do this. I just find it impossible. So I need help. I need help from other people to keep myself accountable. So that's why I involve other people in my business process. And there's also people nowadays, it's not just like, so I keep the individual accountability partner. It's a friend of mine, been friends for years. We've been doing it since 2015, but I also have obviously my business partner. We're on the same page about like holding ourselves accountable for what we're doing with our business. And also it applies to everything I do musically too. Just involving other people is what's going to keep things accountable. Finding a time when so here's how he does it. Find a time each day when I know I'll be free. It can be as little as 15 to 20 minutes. I will say this, it is amazing what you can get done in 15 minutes. I've set timers intending to do things that I thought were going to take like an hour or two and somehow managed to get it done in 15 minutes. So it says, find a time each day when I know I'll be free. Can be as little as 15 to 20 minutes. 2, create an event on my iCal, like do songwriting or record, etc. Set an alert for that event. So when I get an alert on my phone to do the thing I said I was going to do, I have no excuses. I've already made sure that I'm free during this window of time. Nothing is holding me back other than just getting started. How many people out there have just slept through their alarm or hit the snooze button? When you only have 15 or 20 minutes to do the thing that you were setting out to do, that's why it makes it really difficult if you're just doing it by yourself. That's just my 2 cents on this. Okay, so let's see, what else? What else does the author suggest? Again, I'm not doing this to like tear the author apart. I'm sure they have good intentions. I just there is a lot of information out there that I think it's just good to like talk about, and I like to, because I've had my own experiences with things. I'm just reading this literally like how I would read something, and it's interesting. Like you could say, oh, I totally agree with that, and then that doesn't really seem to align with what it is that I've experienced in life. So that's where I'm coming from with all this stuff. Create a marketing strategy. Okay, time needed 1 hour. I know you might not like the idea of becoming a marketing person. That's because sleazy marketers have given the whole industry a bad name. But think of it this way. You're simply sharing the music you've made in a creative way. And if you want a career in music, you have to do marketing. There's no way around it. So set up a strategy for creatively sharing your music. Here's some steps to get you started. Release the song before you promote it and not until then. Release the song before you promote it. I'm not sure I understand that. Release the song before you promote it. Like, what does that mean? Like, it's really not like, honestly, that statement is a little befuddling. I don't really know any artists that do this, that release their song before they start promoting it. Actually, this runs counter to, I kind of call bullshit on this. I feel like this is like bad information because it actually doesn't even feed the algo on any of the music distribution platforms. Spotify, for example, a lot of what may or may not give your song some juice is making sure that you have a successful pre-save campaign. So releasing the song before you promote it doesn't work at all there. Use a site like Music Roamer to find indie artists with music similar to yours. I've never heard of that before. See what marketing content those indie artists are making and what's working. Use the same marketing methods they use, but make them your own. I don't know about this. Create a repeating event in your calendar to market your music. I don't know. This article feels like to me that they got an assignment to create like some type of an article. This feels like this was an article that was just written for content. This doesn't feel like it, because I feel like there's, especially in this section, it's got a lot of bad information here. This just feels like it overly simplifies marketing. It doesn't really talk at all about like putting the heart into it. Doesn't talk at all about like putting your own unique spin into things. It's talking about like going and seeing what they're doing and then just like do your own spin on it. I mean, it's good to like see what other people are doing, and you can learn a lot of tactics by just like being a content. You be a consumer of the channels that are succeeding. And by doing that and only following those channels, it's definitely a strategy. You go on social and do that. You can learn a lot about what's working and what's not working that way. But I don't know. For example, I'm focusing on TikTok to promote my music. Before I started, I don't know if I can pull this up. Let's see if I can pull this up. Okay. I mean, this guy's he has 500 followers. So again, just take it into account. I just checked his channel and he's got 500 followers, and he's writing that, you know, before I started, I looked at 2 to 3 artists with music similar to who were doing well on TikTok. I looked for their best performing videos and analyzed. I then created a Google Doc and noted down video formats that I could use for my different songs. Am I going viral? Heck no. But every single time I post a video, people who didn't know I existed like and comment on my video, asking where they can stream the song. And I get multiple new followers with each video. The key is finding a marketing strategy that works for you and staying consistent. Yeah, I mean, I do think like being consistent with the way that you create content is important. But yeah, I mean, yeah. And who am I to like, I mean, I don't have that many followers on TikTok. I think I've got, but I haven't been like showing up every day. Like, you know, I could show up every day if I wanted to. And I do believe that like, if you show up consistently, the short form videos are really the way to go right now, as far as like bang for the buck, especially Google Shorts, especially YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts, TikTok seems like it's starting to go into that same phase where it's like it's going to start to become harder and harder to get organic traction. But right now, YouTube Shorts, it seems like that's the best place for growth right now, organic growth. Also, the Google search engine is directly tied into YouTube Shorts, just a heads up. So, you know, getting really good videos in YouTube Shorts is going to like, lead you eventually. Those kind of videos can eventually just go straight into the Google search results. So, and Google is by far the most used search engine on the planet. I don't know. I also like to consider, it's like, okay, if somebody's giving marketing advice, you know, how to succeed at social media marketing, I like to look at, you know, their channel and see what they got going on. I don't know. Again, this content just kind of feels like it's a piece of content that was written they got an assignment or something like that. Let's see. Step 4 and beyond. Time needed, 30 plus minutes away. Do one thing each day. Now that you've found your direction forward, you've set aside time to create and market your music, and you've put those tasks on your calendar. It's time to do stuff. Based on the creation of marketing plans you made, pick at least one thing you can do each day, put that task on your calendar, and try to do one thing a day for a month. You'll see that it doesn't actually take that much of your free time to make progress towards the music career you want. The key is not volume, but consistency. Make a plan, adjust as needed, but whatever you do a little bit each day and keep going. I think being consistent with things is really important. So I totally agree here. Just show up. You know, show up. You're going to have a hard time showing up consistently for everything. The thing that sucks, and I'm just gonna like you know, and thanks again for this article, Caleb J. Murphy. Again, I don't mean to like throw you under a bus or anything like that, or trash your article, but some of this stuff does feel a little throwaway. But just my closing thoughts on this is that it's really the music. There's so much stuff to do as an independent artist. There's just a lot of things to do, and it's tough to just like. It's like, I'm going to take responsibility for creating the music, doing the admin for it. I'm going to be my own marketing coordinator. I'm going to take all my own photos. It can literally, the list of things that you may or may not put on yourself as an indie artist, may be like 20 or 30 different responsibilities, and it can be super overwhelming. So I think, you know, this is where making sure that you find your lane and focus your tasks on doing those things versus like, and then really just like, it's a matter of, and here's where the day job can really come in handy, is giving you resources to be able to outsource some of the things that you would otherwise have to do yourself that are not in your like zone of mastery, not only in your skill set, but also you have no fucking interest in doing them. So why are you doing them? Other than it can be cool to learn new things. But I think as soon as you learn, like it's something you hate doing, then like for you to waste time, even waste one day doing it, it's really not going to be to your benefit. Sorry, Harmony. I'm seeing now that you have these, join the Facebook group and you can post the book title there, John. Awesome. Yeah, that book title it's a good book. I'm going to go through yours things. I'm the master of ignoring my to-do list. Other people help me too. Yeah, Harmony, it's really easy. All you got to do is just get an accountability partner. You have to find somebody else who wants to be accountable every single day. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. You could get up and like, do a call, super short call, like 5-minute call every morning at a set time. You're just like, every day we are committing, every business day we're committing to doing this. The business, the accountability partner that I have, we just do it every single day. And sometimes we skip days, like on the weekends, we might not like send a list out. But we've been in constant contact throughout. It's been since 2015. And it's been like a huge, it's one of the major contributing factors to my success is having that accountability. I just find that if I even tell one human being what I'm doing and what I'm intending to accomplish, it just really makes it so much more likely that I'm going to do it. So yeah, it's really easy. All you got to do is like in some Facebook, any Facebook group that has musicians, just say, hey, I'd like to find an accountability partner, somebody that I can just hop on the phone with, or just shoot a text message in the morning and say, hey, I'm intending to do these 3 things that are going to further my music career today. And I'd like to find somebody who'd like to do the same thing for me. We can hold each other accountable. And I tell you, if you do it every day and are consistent about it, that is one of the habits that is definitely going to pay dividends. You're going to discover, the thing that's cool too, is you're going to discover a lot of the shit that you do that really has no bearing on your business, because you should be prioritizing on those 3 things, the 3 things that are going to most likely help you monetize your music or your music business. So, and this is a cool thing too about the music industry. There's a lot of ways you can earn money. There's a lot of potential side hustles. And those side hustles can actually turn out being things that you just really love doing. Like, honestly, the whole teaching thing for me, my great-grandfather was a school teacher. My father was a school teacher. My uncle was a PhD. He got like 2 PhDs and he was a school teacher. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, but I always had resistance to it. Never had any interest in teaching anybody anything. But it wasn't until I started to have success with music licensing and then I got asked to teach about music licensing that I found out that it's actually like one of my favorite things to do. It's one of my favorite things to do is to teach about music and the business of it. So, you're going to discover perhaps like one of those side hustles could be like end up becoming one of your main hustles. And again, like if you're doing that, then you're just waking up and you're waking up to your life purpose. You're not working a job. Like, who wants to work a job? Who wants to live to work a job so that they can maybe have a couple days every once in a while where they're just, tuned out, then go party or whatever, I like just waking up every day and loving my job and loving my life. My job is my life. So that's why I'm here on a Thursday night when it's been a really busy week. And I really like this. This is fun. It's fun to me to be on here. And I always wanted to have a little talk show. So it's one of the things that I've been exploring with Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook through Streamlab. It's been fun to try this out. I'm going to be here every Thursday night at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if it's in your flow, would love to see it each and every Thursday. And we can, just build a little community here. And it's not always going to be a situation where I'm just like trashing an article. Let's pull something else open though. Actually, this is cool. There's I want to see about this. So this was another thing that was dropped into my inbox. Welcome to the new Apple Music for Artists. Very cool. So they must have added some new features. And this is something that should apply for everybody. So every independent artist that's out there, if you have music that's on iTunes, if you have music that's in Apple Music, you have any music that's in Spotify, obviously you need to get Spotify for Artists. And if you have music with Apple, you need to do Apple Music for Artists, because there's analytics, there's ways that you can skin your page And I'm sure there's some other stuff in here. I actually haven't even really, I've connected. It takes a little while to connect all your accounts and stuff like that, but I have connected my Apple Music for Artists. I just haven't, I haven't logged in there and changed anything in a while. So this is going to be a good like incentive for me to go in there and tweak some stuff. I have a feeling, but let's see what they have new in store. So this was released on the 4th. So this article is a couple weeks old, but not too old. So we've amped up things on Apple Music for Artists on the web. Introducing new features that give you the power to manage your Apple Music content. This update experience gives you access to a new set of options to personalize your artist page and connect with fans. A simple, quick way to upload lyrics. Well, that's great. A look at all your analytics. All this packaged in a sleek, interactive site designed to help expand your reach. Take a look at what's new on Apple Music for Artists on the web and learn how to gain more informed insights and grow your audience. All right, let's see what's new here. In your artist profile. So when you log into your artist profile, you'll notice 2 new sections at the top of the navigation: artist content and account. These sections help you personalize your profile and loop in your team for support. That's cool. So you could maybe add an admin. Messages is where you get updates from Apple about your account. Status of artist image submission or account requests from your team. Nice. Artist content. Let's see what this is all about. Update your lyrics, add a new bold artist image, share personal artist details. Nice. So now you can create a team, it looks like. Or it looks like maybe this is already always there, but maybe they made it a little easier to use. That's good. You know, you can have a team. Like I said, it's like, it's good to get other people involved in what you do. And, you know, when you're first starting out, if you have a family, you know, get your significant other to join in the fun, or get one of your kids to join in the fun or something like that. I don't know. If you got a good relationship with your kid, you probably don't want to make your kid mad or something like that. You got a teenager, you get them upset about something, they might punk your profile. Let's talk about this. Let's see. My voice is about shot, so I think this is probably going to be close to the end of this. But let's power through and keep talking about this. Measure. See how your music measures up. Your Apple Music for Artists insights are now in a single, easy to access location under Measure. Explore overview, trends, places, and your music within the Measure section to get a closer look at what's trending where. Chart your performance and monitor your plays, average daily listeners, song purchases, and Shazams. Actually, my favorite part about having an Apple Music for Artists account is getting you get a weekly email that summarizes all of your statistics, but it also, one of the things I love is that it shows you all your Shazams. It shows you all your Shazams. It's a little bit of a tongue twister towards the end of my day, but I love it because I have a lot of stuff that's in online radio overseas. A lot of stuff that's on in-store playlists. And the fun thing is I get to see like where my songs are spinning, what countries, and it's all over the place. It's so fun. I get these little notifications of like the different victories too. Like it shows at the top of the email to be like, this song now just spun like 100 times in Germany or was Shazammed like 200 times in China or whatever it is. So it can be pretty fun. I would highly recommend getting this because you can get some cool insights and you can start to celebrate some of your victories. It'll give you social media content sometimes too, because you'll get like one of those milestones and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like 500 people in the UK have Shazammed this song. It's like, I can throw that up on my social. That's definitely something that belongs in like a photo dump or something like that. Nothing too crazy, but hey, celebrate your wins, right? It doesn't matter how big your wins are. You gotta celebrate your wins. And then sign in or sign up. Oh, okay, that's just the end of the article. Well, that's cool. I'm gonna keep this tab I'm definitely gonna keep this tab open because I have a little bit of digging in to do myself in the next few days. It's cool because then I can decide with you all if this is something. Oh, I gotta get caught up with this. I probably haven't even updated my profile in like a couple of years actually, so it'll be fun to dig in there and see what new analytics are there, and maybe next week I can talk about that a little bit if I found anything interesting. I think I am about at the end of my juice for this day. It has been a fun, action-packed day. For anybody who's not in our 5-day branding challenge, our 5th day is tomorrow, and you can catch up with us. It's been so fun. You can go into onesheetwonders.com. I'm just going to drop that in here, onesheetwonders.com. And you can find out the information about this branding challenge. You can still catch up. There's time, and we're going to be giving away a couple of things that you have to do all the homework in order to be eligible for. So jump in, and it's going to really help you as you get ready for 2023. Don't be one of those people who waits until New Year's Eve to set some type of a New Year's resolution around all this stuff. Your branding is important. It's super important, and you're worth it. So I hope you do that work. Anyways, it's been fun hanging with you. It's been great to listen to some songs, talk with Cinder, break down a little bit of industry news. I kind of like that as a format for this, so I'm going to see how this continues to evolve. You let me know what you like. For anybody who caught this on replay, please drop a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. 2 Indie out, all right? See you next time.